I thought I was busy, girl. No, I don't know how, bless your parents too for coordinating everything and balancing everything. And for you to have just the wherewithal already to balance things like school and all of your athletics and all of the work that you're doing in your career as well. So you've had a very busy 2022, and that's putting it mildly, I would say, right? Understatement. But I want to talk to you about some of the things that you're doing, because I know you're very focused on the work already. You're a very serious journalist, but I think it's very important to give people their flowers in real time. So that's what I want to do with you now, and just a little retrospective of all of the incredible work that you've done, but more so to know how you felt while you were going through everything. Because I want you to be able to take a minute to see your growth and to see the opportunities that have transpired over the years. Sometimes we get so caught up in things that we don't take a minute to just reflect on how big they are in our lives. So let's start with the Title IX with Nike and the NWSL, because this was such a huge year for women in sports and celebrating Title IX, and you were at the forefront of that. So how did that all come together, and how did you feel once it was all said and done?
Yeah, it's like Title IX means so much to me. I wrote my English essay on that last school year. So and I think I'm really lucky to be able to have the kind of knowledge about Title IX, about what it's done for me and my mom and so many other women and girls around the world. And so sorry, in the US. I don't know why I said around the world.
No, it is global. Don't minimize it, for sure,
Yeah,
because
okay.
your reach sometimes is even farther than you may even realize.
Right. That's fair. And so in doing events highlighting Title IX, I think it was just a really way for me to learn more about it, more of its effect on other people, and to be able to moderate those events. I think just I was really humbled, because a lot of the people I was talking to have been trailblazers for Title IX, have had as people who for the some part have been the reason why Title IX is available, and people who have benefited from it and paved the way for me. And so I think both of those events really, as much as I'm proud of how I did, I was really just humbled by the people I was surrounded with.
I mean, Pepper, you represent the current generation and the next generation of what Title IX has reflected for so long now, for all those women whose shoulders we stand on, like you mentioned. But I think it also reflects the work that still needs to be done, right? That you have been so prominent in doing so, which leads me to the next huge thing. Because look, I didn't come into this career, at your age. I didn't figure this out until I was well into my 20s. But even then, the benchmark for anybody who's trying to get into sports broadcast is ESPN. And girl, you already checked off that box, okay? Working with the Aces, doing courtside report. I mean, I was so proud. I felt like I was watching a younger version of myself in many ways, just fulfilling a dream. It all happened very quickly, I know, for you guys, sort of a whirlwind. But as you look back at it now, what was some of the stuff that really popped out to you, like, oh my gosh, that really happened?
Yeah, I think I didn't really understand the amount of preparation that goes
Right.
into doing silent reporting, right? Because I had covered games before, gone to press conferences, and most
Mm-hmm.
of the time just what am I going to ask them pregame, on the train ride there, and during the game, what am I going to ask them postgame? It's so much more than that. It's
Uh-huh.
I went to so many practices. I was watching game film just to be ready for those two
Mm-hmm.
nights, and so I can't even imagine what it's like doing an entire season. But the Aces mean so much to me as an organization, because they were willing to, give me that chance and have that opportunity be something for me, because the WNBA, also the league, means so much to me. But being around that team and that organization was amazing. They have such great energy that really just fueled me, and doing those sideline reporting interviews was just so much fun. And doing press conferences and interviews for my podcast before, I was pretty used to that. And so I was really comfortable in that moment. I think in a way I still haven't fully appreciated. And I'm just so grateful that I had that opportunity because it was so much fun and I learned so much.
Just so you know, you looked comfortable in that moment. Like it looked like you were, because you are meant to be there, and it showed that you prepared. I love that you said that, because I think a lot of people don't realize that it's not just, oh, here's a microphone and go. There's so much lead up. Like what they see on camera is literally a sliver of the amount of time that's actually invested into getting ready for that moment. So I love that you already pinpointed that. All right. What about the 2022 Makers Conference? I think that was huge. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So similar to doing those Title IX events, I was just surrounded by so many women and in and out of the sports world for the first time for me, which was, I think, really cool. And I interviewed Carson Pickett, who has a story that is so important to me to highlight. And just being able to be at that conference and experience and listen to conversations and meet some of the amazing women that were there, it's just like nothing I've ever done before. It's like, and I think it's not every day you get to be like an 11-year-old girl surrounding yourself with people who are doing what they do partly so they can pave the way for me. And I think that meant a lot. And I just wanted to go around and just say thank you, like to everybody, even if I didn't know them, because I knew that, and in some way, something they were doing was like going to positively impact me. And I think just being in that space was amazing. And like, yeah, I'm still kind of, and I missed school for that. So it was slightly stressful. It was slightly stressful for me in that way. But my school was super supportive of that. And my friends were like, what was it like? Like, they always want to know who I met, like that kind of stuff, which was super cool, like for everything. But for this in specific. And so, yeah, it was a lot of fun. But just a really cool experience.
Wait, so you were stressed that you were missing school to go to the 2022 Makers Conference?
Yeah, because I was like, I knew I was going to have to make up schoolwork and homework, and that just like, that stresses me out a little bit. So
I get it. I mean, the overachiever in you, that doesn't surprise me in the slightest, because I think most kids in your class would have been like, school, I don't know her. Like, I'm going to the conference. Bye. So it just speaks to your discipline for sure. Okay, I'm gonna toggle a couple of these together because they go hand in hand. All right, you went on CBS Mornings, which was huge. Jennifer Hudson show, which then led to covering the AMA's red carpet for J-Head. So that was over the span of like a few months, but that was a busy few months. I mean, at any point were you able to say, wait a minute, is everything aligned? Like, is my calendar good? Like, how am I going to do all of this? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I get stressed. Like, for example, the Super Bowl, the closer we get to that, I already know there's so many events coming, but these things sort of pop up for you the more and more you grow in your career. And I think you've handled it with so much grace and so much professionalism. But what was it actually like? Because I know your parents were texting me on the sidebar because there's a lot of logistics going into it. Yeah. But how was it for you?
Yeah, so for CBS Mornings, it was like the biggest platform I've really been like highlighted on in that like really specific way. And basically what they did was it was two-part. It was like a sit-down interview, which, you know, I'm more comfortable with, even though I wasn't the one asking the questions. And then they also they had like a camera crew follow me, like not a whole camera crew, but like a couple of cameras. And then Jan, who is like, did the whole segment on me. She's amazing. And like, so they were following me around and interviewing people at a Washington Mystics game where I was like doing the post game and pre-game like press conferences. And so like it was like not a regular day, but like a day for me. And it was just, I kept looking back at like, cause like, I'm not even doing what I do. I'm not used to having a camera crew follow me around. And they interviewed Natasha Cloud, who's on the Washington Mystics, who is, a really big mentor for me, and Megan McPeak, who was calling the game, who's another one of my mentors. Yes, she's the best.
Fabulous. Yeah.
And I was just kind of sitting there, like trying not to listen to what they were saying because I like didn't want to ruin it, but like I was like, it was kind of weird for me. And then I remember we found out it was gonna I forget, I think it was like it was going to be on at around like 8. And I was like, that's great. Cause like I have to be in school, like sitting in homeroom at 8:10. I was like, and I want to watch this live.
Right.
Yeah. And so we basically drove to school, sat at like a table at some like, it was like a restaurant, like a shop or something, and like just watched it, and then like ran upstairs, and like they're like, why are you late? And I'm like, I can explain. And like,
have a very good excuse.
Yes, yeah. But I think watching it, like I didn't really get the time to soak it in that I might, and so I've gone back and watched it more times, and I'm just like, wow, because like that's as much, there's so many people who do what I do and don't get that kind of recognition, even if they deserve it, right? And so that means a lot to me. And so, and Gail King was like talking about me, and that's like on another level.
Okay.
So like,
listen, Queen Gail, are you kidding me? Like this, but what you're doing, I want you to understand just how special it is. And it's not just because of your age, you know, it's the overall encompassing purpose of not just what you represent, but the way that you do your work. So it's not, I never want you to feel like, oh, this is a novelty because I'm a kid and I'm a reporter. Like, you are excellent at what you do. And that is why these things continue to build, because the work that you've put in and the gift that you have, it's beyond a talent. It's a gift that you have for storytelling, for connecting with these athletes, and for the love of the game. So it's a big deal, and it's all very well deserved. All right. So in the, how many cool people did I meet this year? How many legends did I meet this year? Let's just add Billie Jean King to the list there at the Women's Sports Foundation Gala. Literally a legend.
Yeah.
How was that?
No, because like, 1 second. I literally have a Billie Jean King Barbie. It's like, it's
so good.
No, because like she is the Title IX legend, and she is the like icon of women's sports, like the women's sports figure, the sports figure, like and all of that. And so it's definitely been a dream to meet her. And when it happened, it was like the red carpet was closing, and they were like, we've got to go, she's got to go. And I was like, I made it like my number one thing. I was like, I really need to meet Billie Jean King, because I just don't even know what I would do without that. Because she I just wanted to thank her in general. And I got to meet her. I got to thank her. And she was like asked who I was, and I explained a little bit, and she was like, keep doing what you're doing. And I'm like, I feel like I can never stop now, because that's what Billie Jean
100%.
King wanted. So even more than if it's what I want, you know. And that moment was amazing. And that gala was amazing too. It was my first kind of like red carpet. And it was kind of in preparation for the AMAs. I haven't touched on that. Okay, I'll talk about that in a second. And so that was definitely really cool, that whole experience, and just, you know, all these amazing female athletes being brought together. And that was really cool to be able to facilitate like a part of that.
I love that that's a moment that's going to stick with you and sort of push you when you do face adversity later down the line, you know, when things do get a little tough, and this industry is very hard. So I'm glad that you have those flagship moments already to be able to hold on to. But yeah, let's talk about the AMAs, because that's it's a different world for you, right? You're so ingratiated in the sports world, but this was pop culture, entertainment, music. You interviewed Pink and her daughter on the red carpet. So I want to hear all about that. And you look fabulous. I know that Miss Danielle Freebird styled you. Yeah. I mean, head to toe, honey. Yes, it was giving. How was it for you? Were you nervous, since it was a little bit outside of the world that you normally work in?
It was definitely outside. I was nervous. It was outside of my comfort zone a little bit in terms of not being sports, but also like the terms of preparation. Yeah, it's very different, because I can't go in with my notes, because we didn't really know who's gonna be there until that day. And so I was like, okay, well, we can work with that, you know, but like,
we'll do it on the fly.
Like there was a couple, I had to figure out who they were, like facial recognition. And I had this awesome crew there. Like there were these two women, and they I need to give them so many props, who literally would like find the PR person. And I was like, I gave them a list of everybody who we thought were going to be there that I wanted to talk to. And they made like everybody happen basically. And that's just amazing, because usually I have to do that for myself. And I was like,
right.
I like that, you know? I just get to hold the mic and talk. But like, yeah, and it was amazing. The amount of people I talked to and the quality of those conversations was like nothing I would have expected from a red carpet. I wasn't expecting anybody to be mean, but, you know, I was prepared, you know? And everybody was so nice, and everybody like came over, was willing to talk to me. And I think that was another full circle moment for me. And then, yeah, shout out to Danielle. The jumpsuit was like a dream come true for me, because that's
so cool.
Exactly, no, it was like, I was like, I want a purple sequin jumpsuit. And I was like, and there I was in a purple sequin jumpsuit. And so that was really cool for me too. And just being in that outfit. And I got complimented by several people for that too. And I was like,
it was beautiful.
I felt really good. Yeah, it was amazing. And so, yeah, so that was a moment that I think just is on another level, because I get to talk to the athletes that inspire me, and that means so much to me. But like getting to talk to celebrities that inspire me, that's like a different level, because I feel like the athletes at this point, because of what I've done, is a little bit more achievable. But like, that was crazy.
No, it is. Red carpets are kind of wild. I worked in entertainment for a while before I switched full-time into sports. And I don't think people realize just how they only see the glamorous side of it, right? The celebrities and the sequence and all of that stuff. But it is a grind when you're on there. And to your point, producers do the Lord's work when you're out there. Like, they make it so simple. So I'm so glad that and I knew they would, the team took care of you, but it is a game changer to not have to do it all yourself. Yeah, for sure. And then to culminate the year, and we're not even done yet, we still have a couple more weeks left in 2022, but you were already named one of the 2023 most powerful women in sports by Adweek, which I'm not gonna lie to you, did I get a little emotional? I got a little emotional when I saw it. I mean, I can't imagine your parents when they saw this. What was your reaction to the news?
I think we got an email. They were like asking if it was okay. There's some stuff I had to fill out. And I was like, this is like real. I don't think it didn't really hit me immediately. Like, most of the time I'll do like my classic pepper squeal, like so excited, you know? And I didn't think I was like, yeah. And I don't think I really understood until like I really filled out the answer and like saw my face amongst the other names of the other most powerful women in sports for this year. And like, that's just crazy to me. Like, I was the youngest person on that list, which is so cool and so humbling as well. And so like being able to say that, like, as that's like, it's so cool. And I like haven't done like as much and accomplished as much as some of the people on that list, but for some reason, like what I did was like at that level. And I think that's really cool. And they talked about me like on the podcast for like breaking down everybody who was like nominated for that. And I think that was really cool for me too. But like being able to say that, like, it's really cool. I'm really proud.
So let me shed some light for you. And I'm obviously not on any kind of committee for Adweek or affiliated them whatsoever. But if I had to make an educated guess on why you were on this list and why you were a no-brainer to be on this list, it's because of several aspects. Not only the representation aspect of it, as a young woman in sports, as a young Black woman in sports, but also as someone who is so dedicated to women's sports in particular. Those are all spaces that still need so much more amplification. And to know that at your age, you have already not only broken through, but earned the credibility and the respect of the athletes and of these organizations and of other journalists as well, that speaks volumes to the power that you have. Your words have power. Your presence here has power. So the second I saw the announcement, yes, of course, absolutely. This fits. This makes sense. And it's exactly the space that you should be occupying. I cannot wait to see what comes down the rest of your career, let alone in 2023. What's coming? Because I already know probably your January is booked up.
Couple of things in January, but
can you share anything yet? Can we break news?
I don't know. Give me
ask Pops first.
Wait, yeah
What's cleared? What's not? The point is, things are coming. I know it.
Yeah.
I already know it.
I don't know if he's still on.
Been in the chat, Dad.
Okay, yeah. So I do so in January, I've been watching a couple of St. John's games because I'm going to be for their women's basketball team, I'm going to be like sort of an in-game post style reporter, like kind of hopefully doing everything in that kind of way. Like for I believe it's like either like the women's sports night, I think. And so that's really cool. I'm gonna get to do some PA announcing, like so some things I haven't done before, which is always really cool for me. So that's in January.
Flexing new muscles, and for the rest of the year we'll just have to follow along on the Pepper train and see what comes. I'm so proud of you, Pepper. I'm never surprised, but I'm always very, very proud. So keep doing what you're doing, and man, I can't wait to see what's next. I'm just happy to play a small role in being able to see your development. So thanks for letting me lean in.
Yeah, thank you so much for doing this podcast as well. It means a lot.
Of course.